Chosen one, this message is for you. You did not stumble into this moment by accident. You are here because God has been watching you in private places where no applause existed, no validation came, and no one defended you. This is not about talent or visibility. This is about heart posture. While others were loud about their faith, you were tested quietly. And now, heaven is confirming something powerful. You passed a hidden test that qualified you for trust, not just blessing. This test was never announced, but it was intense. You were evaluated when things felt unfair, when doors stayed closed longer than expected, and when silence replaced reassurance. God watched how you responded when prayers were delayed, when people misunderstood your intentions, and when obedience cost you comfort. You could have grown bitter, resentful, or reckless. Instead, you stayed anchored. That restraint, that integrity under pressure, spoke louder than any public success ever could. You were tested in isolation because isolation reveals truth. God separated you not to punish you, but to expose what truly lives in your heart. In loneliness, there is no audience to perform for. In waiting seasons, motives are revealed. You chose to keep loving, keep serving, and keep believing even when it felt like nothing was moving. That is the moment heaven marked you as trustworthy. Many want God's power. Few can be trusted with God's timing. The hidden test was about authority, not endurance alone. Endurance matters, but authority is earned through submission. God watched whether you would try to force outcomes or stay aligned. You didn't manipulate people. You didn't compromise values. You didn't chase validation. You stayed clean in heart while being misunderstood. That qualifies you for influence without corruption. God does not entrust authority to people who cannot govern themselves in unseen places. Your reactions spoke louder than your prayers. Heaven listens to prayers, but it studies reactions. When provoked, you chose peace. When tempted, you chose restraint. When disappointed, you chose faith over complaint. Those moments were recorded. You were being trained for weight, responsibility, and spiritual influence. God is not reckless with trust. The fact that you are still standing with humility means your character can carry what is coming next. What looked like a delay was actually divine evaluation. You thought you were being overlooked, but you were being observed. God was measuring consistency, not intensity. Anyone can be faithful for a week. Few remain faithful without feedback. You kept showing up with the same heart even when progress was invisible. That is rare. That is why this season is shifting. Trust unlocks access, and you have just crossed that threshold. This is why opposition increased before clarity arrived. Spiritual resistance intensifies when qualification is near. The pressure you felt was not meant to break you. It was meant to expose you. You did not collapse. You did not quit. You did not become who pain tried to turn you into. That resistance confirmed your advancement. The enemy only pressures what heaven is preparing to promote. God is now repositioning you for responsibility. This next phase is not just about blessing. It is about stewardship. You are being trusted with influence, resources, and spiritual impact because your heart has proven safe. God knows you will not misuse what He gives you. You will not forget Him in success. You will not trample people on the way up. That is why doors will open with unusual favor and precision. What comes next will feel different because it is different. You will notice alignment instead of struggle, clarity instead of confusion, and confirmation instead of constant questioning. This is not because life becomes easy, but because trust creates partnership. When God trusts your heart, He moves with you instead of testing you. You are shifting from examination to execution, from preparation to deployment. Remember who you are as this season changes. You are not here because you were perfect. You are here because you were faithful. You passed a test no one saw, and now God is trusting your heart with what many desire but few can sustain. Stay grounded, stay grateful, stay aligned. This elevation is not random. It is the reward of obedience in hidden places. You are chosen, trusted, and positioned on purpose. Chosen one, the trust God is placing in you will change how you see yourself. You are stepping into a phase where your decisions carry weight, not just for you, but for others connected to your assignment. God does not trust everyone with influence, because influence amplifies what is already inside. He trusted you because humility stayed intact even when pride had every excuse to rise. You learned to seek God before reacting, to listen before speaking, and to wait before moving. That internal discipline is now becoming your external authority. This hidden test trained you to hear God without noise. In seasons where voices disappeared and encouragement dried up, you learned discernment. You learned the difference between urgency and alignment, between emotion and instruction. God was teaching you how to move by spirit, not by pressure. That skill is priceless. In the next season, many voices will surround you, but because of this training, you will not be confused. You will recognize God's voice clearly because you learned it in silence. You were tested on loyalty, not popularity. God watched how you treated people who could do nothing for you. He saw whether you honored others when it brought no advantage. You didn't abandon your values to fit in. You didn't betray your convictions for access. That loyalty revealed maturity. Popularity attracts crowds, but loyalty sustains legacy. God is preparing you for connections that require depth, discretion, and faithfulness, qualities you already proved you carry. The emotional weight you carried was part of the refinement. You felt deeply, questioned quietly, and processed internally. God allowed emotional pressure to refine compassion, not harden your heart. You could have become guarded or cold, but instead, you became wiser and more discerning. That balance is rare. It allows you to lead with strength without losing empathy. God trusts people who can hold truth without losing love, and that is exactly what this season cultivated in you. This test exposed who could not go with you. Some people fell away without explanation. Others misunderstood you at critical moment. God allowed this to happen to protect the next phase. If they could not respect your process, they could not handle your purpose. This was not rejection, it was filtration. God was reducing noise, removing distraction, and preserving alignment. What remains around you now is intentional, not accidental. Your obedience under uncertainty unlocked spiritual credibility. You obeyed without guarantees. You moved without seeing the full picture. That level of trust built credibility in the spiritual realm. Heaven responds to faith that moves before clarity arrives. God saw that you were willing to follow Him even when outcomes were unclear. That is why guidance will now come faster, doors will open more easily, and resistance will weaken. Trust accelerates movement. The delay trained you to value presence over outcomes. At one point, you stopped chasing results and started seeking God's nearness. That shift was critical. God is not interested in people who only pursue Him for answers. He trusts those who remain connected even without explanations. That intimacy forms stability. Now, when blessings arrive, they will not replace God. They will flow from Him. That order is why you are being entrusted with more. You are entering a season where your character speaks for you. You will notice less need to defend yourself. God is becoming your advocate. Situations will resolve without you explaining everything. People will sense integrity without needing proof. That is the fruit of passing hidden tests. When God trusts your heart, He also guards your reputation. You no longer need to fight for validation. Alignment does that for you. The wisdom gained in hardship will guide others. You did not suffer for nothing. The lessons you learned privately will soon help people publicly. God often turns wounds into wisdom and pain into perspective. You will speak with authority, not because you studied theory, but because you lived through refinement. That credibility cannot be manufactured. It is earned, and you earned it honestly. This is preparation for stewardship, not spotlight. God is not elevating you for attention. He is elevating you for impact. The trust being released is tied to responsibility, not applause. You are being positioned to manage influence with humility and clarity. Stay anchored, stay obedient, stay aware. What you carry now is evidence that you passed a test that few even realize they were taking. Chosen one, God is shifting how you measure success. You once looked for visible progress, but this season trained you to recognize internal alignment. Success is no longer about speed or applause. It is about obedience and peace. God reshaped your metrics so you would not be distracted by comparison. This shift protects you. When God trusts your heart, He also teaches you how to define victory in ways that keep you grounded, focused, and spiritually stable. The test refined your patience without killing your passion. Many lose fire while waiting, but you learned how to keep vision alive without forcing timing. That balance is rare. You stayed hungry without becoming desperate. You stayed hopeful without becoming naive. God was watching whether you could hold passion under restraint. That discipline allows God to release momentum without chaos. What is coming will move quickly, and this patience will keep you steady. God tested how you handled a misunderstanding. People projected assumptions onto you, and you did not rush to correct them. You let God be your defense. That restraint revealed confidence rooted in identity, not approval. God trusts people who don't need to control narrative. In the next phase, visibility will increase, and so will opinions. Because you passed this test, you will remain unshaken. Your security no longer depends on being understood. You learned how to release control without losing responsibility. You stopped trying to manage every outcome and started surrendering processes. That was not passivity, it was maturity. God trusts people who know when to act and when to yield. You learned to do your part and leave the rest in divine hands. That balance invites partnership. Now, God can move through you because you are no longer trying to move ahead of Him. The hidden test exposed your relationship with power. You were placed in moments where you could have asserted dominance, proved a point, or taken shortcuts. You chose restraint over ego. God watches how people treat power before He multiplies it. You showed that you value purpose over control. That is why authority is coming without corruption. Power will not change you because it no longer defines you. Your faith matured beyond emotion. Early on, faith was fueled by feeling. Now, it is anchored in conviction. You learned how to trust God even when emotions fluctuated. That stability matters. God does not build lasting assignments on emotional highs. He builds them on commitment. Because your faith is now rooted, not reactive, God can trust you with long-term responsibility and sustained impact. The test strengthened your discernment about people. You became more observant, less reactive, and more intentional. God taught you how to read fruit instead of words. This discernment will protect you in the next season. As new opportunities and connections appear, you will recognize alignment quickly. God trusts people who can discern without suspicion and protect without paranoia. That balance was forged during this hidden season. You learned how to wait without disconnecting. Some people withdraw when things stall. You stayed engaged. You continued praying, serving, growing, and believing. That consistency proved devotion, not convenience. God trusts people who remain present during delay. That is why momentum will now return. You will not need to relearn discipline when acceleration comes. You already built it in the waiting. This test confirmed your readiness for divine timing. Timing is not about clocks. It is about capacity. God waited until your heart could carry what your prayers requested. Now alignment is present. When opportunity meets readiness, movement becomes inevitable. You are not late. You are not early. You are positioned. That precision is evidence of trust being activated. You are transitioning from preparation to partnership. God is no longer just shaping you, He is working with you. That shift changes everything. You will feel increased clarity, confidence, and peace even when challenges arise. This is not because obstacles disappear, but because trust stabilizes movement. You passed a hidden test, and now God is trusting your heart with the next assignment. Chosen one, God is now refining your voice, not silencing it. There was a season where you felt unheard, where your words carried little weight externally. That was intentional. God was teaching you how to speak from alignment, not impulse. Silence sharpened your discernment. Now, when you speak, it will land with clarity and authority. People will sense substance behind your words because they were forged in truth, not urgency. The hidden test recalibrated your confidence. You no longer need to prove your worth or rush your validation. God dismantled insecurity by removing external affirmation. What remains is quiet confidence rooted in identity. That confidence does not compete or compare. It simply stands. God trusts people whose confidence is anchored in Him. because they will not crumble under criticism or swell under praise. You were tested in stewardship before expansion. God watched how you handled little time, energy, emotions, and responsibility. You learned to steward peace, not just opportunity. That matters. Expansion without stewardship creates collapse. Because you learned how to manage what was already in your hands, God can now increase your reach without overwhelming your capacity. The pressure refined your prayer life. Your prayers shifted from asking for outcomes to seeking alignment. You stopped demanding answers and started trusting direction. That shift opened spiritual clarity. God responds quickly to prayers rooted in surrender. This is why your intuition feels sharper now. You learned how to pray from trust, not fear. God tested whether you would obey without explanation. There were moments when instruction came without reasoning. You did not always understand why, but you followed anyway. That obedience signaled maturity. God does not explain everything to people who are still negotiating trust. Because you obeyed without full clarity, God can now reveal a deeper strategy without concern. Your endurance proved your assignment was real. Many quit when resistance appears. You stayed. That alone disqualified the comparison. Assignment is confirmed by endurance. If it were not real, pressure would have pushed you out. Instead, it refined you. God trusts people who remain committed when the path becomes uncomfortable. You learned how to carry hope without denial. You did not ignore reality, but you also did not surrender to it. You acknowledged difficulty without letting it define your future. That balance is spiritual maturity. God trusts people who can face truth without losing vision. That ability will guide you through complex seasons ahead. The test purified your intentions. At one point, motives were stripped down to the core. You continued even when rewards were removed. That purity matters. God builds a lasting impact on pure intent. Because your intentions survived the stripping, they can now support expansion without distortion. You were trained to move without external confirmation. You learned how to trust inner conviction over public approval. That autonomy is crucial. God trusts people who do not need consensus to stay obedient. In the next season, decisions will require courage, not consensus. You are ready. This phase marks internal stability before external acceleration. God always stabilizes the inside before shifting the outside. What you feel now, clarity, peace, grounded confidence, is evidence of readiness. Movement is coming, but it will not shake you. You passed the hidden test, and God is preparing to move through you with precision and trust. Chosen one, God is strengthening your discernment for greater responsibility. You are no longer easily swayed by emotion, pressure, or persuasion. This season trained you to pause, listen, and evaluate before responding. That discernment is essential for what comes next. God entrusts influence to those who can sense alignment beneath surface appearances. Because you learned to read spiritual signals instead of reacting to urgency, you are prepared to make decisions that affect more than just your own life. The hidden test revealed how you handled disappointment. You faced moments where expectations collapsed, yet you did not abandon faith. Instead, you adjusted your perspective. That adaptability is spiritual maturity. God trusts people who can experience disappointment without becoming cynical. Cynicism closes destiny. Resilience keeps it open. You learned to process disappointment without letting it poison your outlook, which protects the future God is building through you. You were tested on consistency, not bursts of effort. Anyone can show up strong for a moment. God watched whether you would remain faithful without adrenaline. You developed rhythm, discipline, and steadiness. That consistency is what sustains calling over time. God does not need more intense people. He needs consistent ones. That is why your assignment is solidifying now. The delay purified your expectations of God. At one point, you had to confront assumptions about how and when God should move. That confrontation refined your faith. You learned to trust God's character more than His schedule. This purified expectation allows partnership rather than entitlement. God trusts people who believe in Him, even when outcomes unfold differently than imagined. You learned to guard your heart without closing it. Pain taught you boundaries, not bitterness. You became selective without becoming distant. That balance matters. God trusts people who can protect their hearts while remaining available for purpose. Closed hearts limit impact. Unguarded hearts invite damage. You learned how to walk that line with wisdom. The hidden test taught you restraint in victory. Even small wins revealed something important. You stayed grounded. You did not boast or overextend. God watches how people handle success before multiplying it. Your restraint signaled readiness. You understand that momentum must be managed, not chased. That maturity invites sustainable growth. You were trained to respond, not react. Reaction is emotional. Response is intentional. God slowed you down so you could develop this skill. In future seasons, quick reactions could cause damage. Because you learned how to respond thoughtfully, you will navigate pressure with clarity. God trusts people who can pause without panicking. This season clarified your values under pressure. When choices became costly, values were tested. You chose integrity over convenience. That clarity forms a foundation for leadership. God entrusts responsibility to those who will not compromise when it matters most. You proved that your values are not situational. The hidden test aligned your will with divine purpose. You stopped pushing your own agenda and started asking better questions. What once felt like resistance was actually redirection. God trusts people who can yield their will without losing drive. That alignment is why progress will now feel smoother and more intentional. You are now positioned for movement without confusion. Confusion often precedes clarity, but you have passed that stage. What lies ahead will require action, and you are ready. God does not release momentum to people who are uncertain about identity or direction. You are stable, aligned, and trusted. The hidden test is complete, and the next phase is unfolding. Chosen one, God is confirming the integrity of your heart. Every secret struggle, every private decision, every moment of unseen obedience has been recorded in heaven. You were evaluated in moments where no one could see, and your character passed. That integrity is now your currency. Doors will open not because of popularity, skill, or timing, but because God trusts the heart behind the hands. This trust will carry you further than talent ever could. You were tested in faithfulness, not convenience. Opportunities came and went, and yet you remained faithful even when it was inconvenient. You served without recognition, prayed without visible results, and waited without complaint. That consistency revealed depth. God trusts people who honor the process, not just the payoff. Your faithfulness has positioned you for assignments that cannot be completed by impulsive effort alone. The hidden test strengthened your spiritual resilience. You endured trials that seemed disproportionate, and yet your spirit remained intact. You could have grown cynical, discouraged, or hardened, but instead, you grew stronger. That resilience is what God looks for before entrusting someone with increased influence. You are now prepared to navigate storms without losing vision, conviction, or peace. You learned the power of waiting without despair. Waiting is often misunderstood as passivity, but in your case, it became a season of refinement. You remained active in prayer, service, and preparation without forcing outcomes. That patience is now an asset. God trusts people who can remain steady in delay because they will not collapse under acceleration. Your loyalty during testing revealed your spiritual maturity. Even when circumstances seemed unfair, and when others faltered, you stayed committed. That loyalty is more than allegiance. It is an internal compass that guides action even without external reward. God trusts people who can stay aligned with purpose without being swayed by pressure or opinion. That alignment is now opening doors. You were tested on humility before elevation. Opportunities to boast, manipulate, or shortcut came, and you resisted. God watched whether you would prioritize identity over image. That humility is rare. People who cannot remain humble under pressure will collapse when promotion arrives. You demonstrated readiness for influence because your heart values purpose over recognition. The hidden test developed your spiritual insight. You now perceive motives, patterns, and opportunities that once went unnoticed. That insight comes from careful observation, reflection, and alignment with divine guidance. God trusts people with discernment because it prevents mistakes and maximizes impact. What was once hidden is now clear, and your eyes are opened for the next phase. You learned to prioritize alignment over acceleration. Earlier, you may have chased results or validation, but now you understand that timing and alignment matter more than speed. That wisdom prevents derailment. God trusts people who value process over shortcut, principle over pressure, and divine timing over human urgency. That prioritization positions you for smooth, lasting progress. The test revealed the endurance of your hope. Hope remained alive even when outcomes were delayed or circumstances seemed impossible. That endurance is what sustains vision during trials. God trusts people who keep hope alive without becoming naive or passive. Your hope, now refined, will inspire and influence others as doors begin to open. You are moving from refinement to activation. The hidden test is complete, and God is now ready to release trust, authority, and momentum. You are no longer being prepared in private. You are being activated in purpose. Your heart has proven reliable, your faith has proven steady, and your character has proven intact. You are ready for the next phase, where unseen obedience transforms into visible impact. Chosen one, God is now confirming your readiness for responsibility. What you endured privately prepared you for public impact. Every unseen struggle, every silent prayer, and every moment of restraint was not wasted. God watched how you handled small things because He was preparing you for greater assignments. Trust is being released into your hands now because your heart has proven steady, faithful, and aligned with His purpose. You are ready to steward influence with wisdom and integrity. You were tested on patience under pressure. Delays, obstacles, and resistance were not signs of abandonment, they were opportunities for refinement. God observed whether you could maintain faith without immediate result. You did not quit. You did not compromise. You did not lose hope. That endurance is exactly what qualifies you to carry responsibilities that others cannot. Patience under pressure signals that your heart is now trustworthy for higher assignments. The hidden test strengthened your spiritual discernment. You were placed in situations that required you to see beyond the obvious. God trained you to recognize alignment and expose deception, to trust His guidance over human opinion. This discernment is now part of your spiritual toolkit. God trusts people who can perceive truth clearly, navigate wisely, and act with confidence. Your next steps will reflect this new clarity. You learned how to guard your integrity without shutting down. You faced challenges that could have tempted compromise, but you stood firm. God tested whether your principles were negotiable under pressure. They were not. That is why you are now trusted with greater influence. Your integrity will protect the blessings coming to you and ensure that the impact you make is sustainable and honorable. The test revealed the strength of your faith in adversity. Moments of doubt, struggle, and delay were used to measure whether faith in God was genuine. You chose trust over fear, hope over despair, and obedience over convenience. That steadfast faith is the reason God can now confidently release favor and guidance into your life. Your faith has been proven reliable, and it will carry you through all challenges ahead. You were refined in humility before promotion. Opportunities to self-promote or manipulate circumstances arose, but you resisted. God wanted to ensure your heart valued purpose above pride. That humility is rare, and it is what allows God to elevate someone without danger of corruption. Your next season will demand humility even as influence grows, and you are prepared for it. The hidden test purified your motives. Your actions were weighed, and your intentions were examined. God was looking for consistency, sincerity, and alignment. Your perseverance without reward proved that your motives are genuine. This purity makes you a vessel that can be entrusted with long-term impact, responsibility, and spiritual authority. Your heart has passed the test of divine trustworthiness. You were trained to endure without complaining. The moments that felt hardest were also moments that taught you endurance without bitterness. You maintained peace and perspective even when challenges seemed unfair. That endurance demonstrates emotional maturity and spiritual stability. God trusts people who can carry responsibility without becoming resentful or impatient. That stability ensures the assignments coming your way will be handled with grace. You learn to act with wisdom, not haste. Earlier seasons may have tempted you to move impulsively, but the hidden test taught discernment over speed. You learned how to wait for alignment while still being productive. God trusts people who act intentionally, not reactively. Your careful, measured steps now position you to make the right moves at the right time. The hidden test confirmed your readiness for divine acceleration. What was once a season of preparation is now transforming into a season of momentum. Your heart, proven faithful, obedient, and discerning, is ready to carry what is next. God is no longer only preparing you, He is now trusting you to lead, influence, and impact according to His perfect plan. This is the threshold of activation, and you are fully ready. Chosen one, it is time to step fully into the trust God has placed in your heart. You have passed the hidden test. You have endured, remained faithful, and proven your integrity in places no one else could see. Now, God is not just watching. You are being entrusted with divine assignments, favor, and alignment that will shift your life and the lives of others around you. This is your moment to walk boldly, knowing that your heart has already been qualified for responsibility, impact, and purpose. As you embrace this next season, remember, your obedience, faithfulness, and humility have set the stage for divine acceleration. The doors opening before you are not random, they are intentional. Every challenge you faced, every delay you endured, every test you overcame was designed to prepare you for this exact time. Trust that God is leading you with precision, and stay aligned with His will above all else. Now, take action in faith. Commit to living in integrity, speaking with clarity, and moving in alignment with God's direction. Let your heart continue to guide your steps, and let your life reflect the trust God has placed in you. If you are ready to continue walking in divine purpose and want to strengthen your journey alongside a community of chosen ones, like this video, leave a comment sharing how God has been testing your heart, and subscribe to stay connected with messages designed to awaken, activate, and confirm your divine assignment. Amen.